Okay, right. So we've just been told there's no sound. So let's start all again. So here we are, coffee and chats.
And probably that's what people love.
Yeah,
No
but
sound.
thank you for letting us know, right? But right now, here we are, coffee and chats. We are literally just gonna fast forward what we've done. So today we're just gonna have a quick chat about time. About time. So first of all, thanks to Jonathan for letting us know there's no sound.
Yeah, thank you.
And now Andy is already live and chatting away. So yeah, what we were just saying is that
we literally
time's flying back.
Yeah, time's flying. We've been back in. When we get to September, it'll be a whole year since we've been back in the UK, which is mental. And also, Ads and I always do this, always like brainstorming, having ideas. And we were like, do you know what? 4 people in the past 10 days have jumped into Back in Charge Blueprint, which is great. And reflecting on how we've nearly been back a year, it's like, do you know what? We need to help people see that being time poor.
5 people.
5. Being time poor is an advantage. Especially,
but it's good though. It's a good thing.
And people probably thinking, well, how? Because especially with the health, and you feel like overwhelmed, and you're like, I really want to do this, but it's just event after event. Or when you think like now's the time, something crops up in the diary, or it's work, or it's holiday, blah blah blah. And now we're coming into summer holidays.
Right, let's just play it through the year, right? It's like everyone normally starts at January, don't they?
Or a Monday.
But then it's like, oh, I can't start because New Year's Day starts on a Thursday. So there's no way I can start on a Thursday. So I'm going to wait until Monday. And then that first Monday comes, well, it's my first day back at work.
But not just that, don't forget, we're still eating the mince pies and the leftovers. So
that's got to be finished.
We've got to finish those first, because that would just be rude and wasteful.
Yeah. And that's it. And and then like you come to then and it's like, oh, it's hard, it's cold, it's miserable.
Who cares anyway? Because I was tired under a jumper.
That's it. So then then the time starts to go, and then we're now into February. What happens in February? Valentine's Day. You're going to be wining and dining. The chocolates and the wine and all of those things. The date nights. That's what happens. And then in March, it's my birthday. So then it's then like, I can't do anything in March because I need to celebrate my birthday, don't I? So there's no way I can commit to doing anything just because I've got one birthday.
And then we've got half terms for the kids. Then we've got holiday. And then we've got Easter. So it'd be rude not to be involved in the Easter eggs. Anyway, you get the point. There's always something. And I think you'll agree with this. When you're being back in the UK, it's a lot heavy. I can't articulate this. It's much more heavily expose you to all these events that you have to get involved in. Like Cyprus was very much like we could be more in our own bubble. Their big events there would be like Easter, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that was it in Cyprus. Their biggest event was Easter.
But I feel like here in the UK, it's like one thing, they're always rushing to the next thing. So it doesn't really allow you, if you're not mindful enough, to get sucked into all these different things, isn't it? Like it takes like, hang on a minute, Anyway, the point is, right, there's always something, and time is going like this, like Jude came along in January, he's 6 months this month, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy. Like I'm just starting to wean him. It's all mad. So the point that Ads and I are trying to make is time is not stopping. Time is not slowing down, and you won't have that perfect window. You're not going to have that perfect window and think, oh, okay, can sit back now, because there won't. And even if you think you're going to have a perfect window, something will happen. So this is why being time poor is a good thing. And I'll let you talk about it, especially with the 5 guys who've just jumped in.
Well, yeah, like if we look at it, why is it good? Why is it a good thing to do something for yourself when you are time poor? Have a little think about it. Like why do you think it's a good thing to do instead of having that free window of time? Now, the first thing is that if you do wait for that perfect window, then you're not going to be, you're not exposing. No, but even if it was, right, let's imagine that there is a perfect window, right? There's nothing going on, okay, for 12 weeks. Now, in that window, you're not exposing yourself to any stress. You're not exposing yourself to anything, any hiccups, any roadblocks, anything that could throw you off track. So that's the first thing. And that's why, like, if we look at it, it's a good thing to actually do things when you're being supported. You've got the accountability, you've got the support, you've got a guide that's going to help you through those. So then if you do, then, you fall off the wagon. If you do, then, fall off and it's not right, and you do, fuck it up, excuse my French, but you do fuck it up. It's a good thing, because then you've then got the support. Whereas, like, if you then do have a free window, and then everything's great, and then come the end of the 12 weeks, you then go off by yourself. But then on the 13th week, when you then go back to work and all the stresses are there and everything's coming at you, and you don't have the support, you're not going to have the experience of handling it. So that's one reason why it's, I'd like it. Like, doing things when you don't have the time is really, really important.
I think as well with that, it makes you highlight your values more, because if you recognize, like, especially now, like, being family of 5, you've got to get to work. I've got to be with Jude all the time. It's like, if I don't grasp that window of opportunity, it's gone.
It's got to make shit happen, right?
So actually, sometimes
procrastinating.
I think when you have too much time, that can also be really overwhelming, because you could be like, oh, I'll do it then. But because you don't need to do it then it rolls on, and then you could get really overwhelmed. And that, for me, creates anxiety, because I'm like, oh, I've done it. Whereas if it's like, this is my window, structure, routine is actually creates discipline, and the discipline leads to the good habits, which leads to the good behavior. So what we're trying to say is, being time poor is an advantage, because you grab it, you get it done, and then you prove to yourself. The feedback loop is actually, it's a lot more simple than I'm making it out to be. Because the fact is, like, the reality is, you've got to eat anyway, you've got to sleep anyway, and you should be moving every day, because you're not a tree. So if you can just tweak those things to work for you, and you're doing it amongst work stress, amongst now the summer holidays are beginning, and the kids are going to be off, especially if you work from home. If you're mastering those in that, what we will call chaos, you are going to fly when things calm down, because it's not always going to be like that extreme stress. But when the kids go back, say, in September, and you've mastered it now, think how you're going to feel in September. You're going to breeze, aren't you?
That's it. You're going to feel a lot calmer. And that's what it's all about. It's about keeping people calm. Even when things are being stressful, it's like, how can we keep you calm in those situations? How can we keep you, at peace? Because that's the thing. When we're at peace, we're going to be making better choices. We're then going to be delivering better. We're going to be more focused. We're going to have more energy.
And we're just able to respond, aren't we? Rather than react to situations. Because the thing is, right, we can't control externals. We don't know how every day is going to go in the summer holidays. And it's, it's not like it's not going to be easy. But if we've got good daily habits in place for ourselves, that's going to set us up for success a lot more than being out of control. So, if you do feel like, oh, it's not the right time, actually just take a step back and be like, with what you're saying, how is that serving you up to this point? If you've been someone who said, I'm going to start in January, and then it's just, rolled on and rolled on, how has that served you to this point? Is it a positive or is it a negative?
I was having this conversation with someone actually at jiu-jitsu last week.
Whilst having a bear roll.
We was in the change rooms afterwards, and one of the guys, we were just like talking about, like how many times some of them go, and like there's this one guy, and he goes like 7 times a week. Okay, he goes 7 times a week, and then there was another guy there, and he goes, I get you like twice a week, and he goes, I just can't do it. I can't make any other times because I've got kids. I've got kids and all of that. And then the guy that goes 6 times a week, he just went, that's bullshit. He just called him out. He goes, you can make it if you want to. He goes, think back to before you started. He's like, you weren't going any times, were you? You wasn't doing anything. But then you made the time to go. You committed that time to go. all you got to do is just change the way that you do things. Change the, like if it's kids, cool. Well then, his wife can put them to sleep, one night. So then that then allows him then to get there that extra night. During the day, he can shuffle, he works himself, so he can shuffle his diary about, so he can then make it there. And that's the thing. And the guy was like, yeah, you're right. He was like, before I started doing twice a week, he was like, I just used to go home and just sit on the sofa. And it's just a change of priorities.
But also as well, it's you're just highlighting there the power of having that external voice.
Yeah, if that guy calling his bullshit out.
Call out, or i.e. like what we do is having that accountability. Be like, that's not true. It's like if someone says, I didn't have time to eat well at lunch today because I was on the go. Well, is that the absolute truth?
No, you just chose.
Or is it the choices
to make a different choice?
Because we've always got a choice, right?
That's all it is. That's all it is. So guys, do you have any questions on this at all? Do you have any, do you have any views? Do you have any opinions on this? Now, Andy in the chat, he was like, he did a quote, right? And the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Exactly, right? And that's so true. Of course, it's always best to start a long time ago. But then that's in the past.
Hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah. So the best time is actually now. It's very, very true. Like, stop putting it off.
And also, I think now, especially for me, how I can look at this, time is powerful anyway, but especially looking at Jude and, recognizing he's 6 months. If you are someone who's like, I was going to do it in January, but, that time has been your excuse, rather than giving yourself a hard time about it now, fast forwards and think, where do I want to be come Christmas? How do I want to be sitting? How do I want to be feeling? What's the words that come up for you? How do you want to feel in your skin? Because we can't get that time back now. These 6 months have been and gone. So it's like, right, okay, let's make the next 6 months count. Let's really grab them by the horns, head down and do the work and be the person that you say you want to be. Because we all know words are wind, right? So it's like, right, fine, it's done. Where do I want to be come the end of the year? How do I want to be feeling? And when that camera comes out, come Christmas, the Christmas parties, do you want to be hiding at the back? Or do you want to be sitting at the front and be like, yep, smashed it, turn it around? Because it's never too late, is it?
No, it's only too late until, when you die. So, but it's true, right? It's a bit harsh, but it's very, very true. There's always time, right? And those of you that have got kids, right? Let's look at that. That's a prime example. Look at your life before children. How much free time did you have then?
Do you know, I actually said to Ad the other day, I think I'd be quite overwhelmed now with all that free time. Because it's just a weird feeling now, not having anyone call for me, need me, want me. So it's like today when Reese is at nursery, Blake's at school, so it's just me and Jude, and when he's asleep, it's like, oh, what did you used to do with all your time? So
I used to phone you up a lot.
Yeah, you used to phone me up. We used to chat.
Yeah.
The chats were happening a long time ago.
Over green tea.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? What I can't stand is don't palm it on your kids.
Right.
Come on. They didn't choose to come into the world.
It was your decision, right?
It wasn't decision. Like you knew that you were going in and the outcome would be a plasma TV. You knew what would happen. We don't need to talk about the birds.
Some ownership.
We don't need to talk about the birds.
No, but it's true though, isn't it? Like you went in making a conscious decision that you wanted children. Cool. So it's like you can't blame your kids. It's not your kids' fault. It's not your kids' fault that your health is how it is. It's like, no, take some responsibility. And this is what's been really, really good about the guys that have come on this week. Like all of them, all of the guys have said, like, I can't, I go to my wife and there's just, I don't want, like, the accountability isn't there for my wife.
And it's not her job.
Exactly.
She's your wife. She's not your
her
coach.
Responsibility.
And that's often why probably is coming, because the blame game starts, isn't it? It's like, well, you didn't take that chocolate bar. out of my hand. So, you know, here we are. And you didn't say no to the takeaway. Or a common one.
Oh, you're supposed to be helping me.
Or a common one could be, well, she does the food shopping, so all the crap's in the house. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah, but she didn't pin you down and open your mouth though, did she?
you know, you get the point. And we can blame and blame and blame to the point where it's not serving you. It's not changing anything. It doesn't make you feel better deep down. It's just like, let's just take some real ownership about this. Who do I want to be for me? Because the thing is, what's really attractive, and I can say this through the years that we've been coaching, is when men do step up. And even when they do feel like, oh my God, like I'm investing, my wife's going to kill me, that never actually comes. No. Is that the truth?
She won't even divorce you.
When they start to change, when the transformation begins, guess what happens? The wives start to put down the shit food and they start to look up and they start to feel drawn to their partners again. They are following around the house, not chipping at them, but wanting them, lusting after them. Like, we just had a message come in from a guy this week. It's like, after, 30 plus years of marriage, my wife fancies me again. I had another message come in from a guy who's like, she can't leave me alone. And that's the thing. You are, in my opinion, everyone's different. Man of the house is the leader of the house. Who you're being is going to reflect and ripple down to everyone else. So I feel like your health is your duty for yourself, but also, like, if you've got kids, they are looking at you, they are watching you. And your actions speak louder than words. We know this to be true, don't we?
Well, yeah. It's your children don't do what you say, they do as you do. And like that is how you're, we all know that it's your actions. It's your actions that do the talking. And if you're telling your children,
get up from the sofa.
Get outside and play. When they're sat inside, they're going to be sat inside some holidays, right? Playing on their PlayStations or whatever it is now. And you're like, get outside, go get some fresh air. Yet they then see you sat on the sofa when you get in, head in the phone.
Tea and a biscuit.
Maybe a bottle of beer in the evening, whatever. And it's like, oh, come on, Dad, what are we doing?
Or,
Anyway, but this is the thing, right? Time isn't stopping.
So
time is not stopping. So it's like,
use it or lose it.
It's your, like, you have a decision. It's like, cool. Like, if you're happy, if you're truly happy how you are, then that's fine. But if you really do want to change, then yes, it is going to be hard. Yes, you are going to mess it up. At first, right? Yeah.
Everything's hard at first.
But it's a bit like, once you've started doing it for a period of time, yes, you are going to fall off. But you just got to get back up and you just got to get going again. Yes, you are going to fall off again. But the more you do it, it's like anything, that
train that muscle of consistency.
Yeah, the easier it's going to get. It's a bit like press-ups. You don't just get good at press-ups by doing press-ups once.
Or by reading how to do them.
Or exactly. By reading how to press-ups. You have to get down and you have to, put yourself under that stress.
But equally, just on that point, it's really good that if you do have kids, that's a really good example, because how many times with our kids, especially like soon, Jude will be starting to learn to crawl. How many times with babies, when they learn to crawl, learn to walk, fall over, bash their head, they keep doing it. Their resilience is epic, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And if you just take that with your health and recognize that, I think with health as well, people think like you start here and the finish line is here, but it's not. Like health, when you create a lifestyle, it's continuous.
That's it. So cool, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been really good just getting on, just speaking to Kelz again. Like it's been a bit sporadic. It has, but it's been really good. But look, if you are like someone that is struggling to get started, and like you want to lose weight, but you just don't know how to get started, and you're not sure of what to do,
and you're overwhelmed with demands of like work, family,
and you just don't know if like if it is going to fit in with your work, then just send either myself or Kelz a message. Okay, and we can just have a chat. We can see how it goes, and we just have an open conversation, see what's going on, and be like, look, like it's all good. Just have that support, okay? So, guys, it's been really good to come back on. And one final quote, one final post from Andy, and that is consistency always beats motivation. Exactly right. Motivation dies, but consistency has to be trained. So guys, have a good one, and we will see you all very, very soon.